Posterity. All right, once again, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everything you do. I am Chris Lee. I'm the director here at Des Moines County Conservation, as if any of you didn't already know that, probably. Got a lot to go over tonight, some people to recognize, but this is all for you guys. I really, really appreciate what you do. Volunteers are a huge thing for us. Because if you think about the way an organization operates, whether it's a business or a community organization like us, there's what you can do, and there's what you want to do. And for whatever reason, resources, budget, people, time, logistics, weather, whatever, there's always that gap between what you'd like to accomplish and the dreams that you have and everything you like to do, and then what you're able to do. For whatever reason, right or wrong, it's just that's the reality of life, right? We all want to travel the world or do these great big things and do all this awesome stuff, but there's only so much you can fit into one lifetime. There's only so much you can fit in one budget year, only so much you can fit into one department. And oftentimes the argument is, well, we got to have more money, or we got to have more people, or we got to have in order to get that. But really, what it comes down to is you just got to be kind of strategic. And what I see happen here is you've got the stuff that you want to do and then what you're able to do. And then you got the volunteers that move this line just a little bit, And so, for instance, say as a department, we have this historic schoolhouse. We would love to pour a bunch of resources into that thing. We have to make decisions. And as the leader of the organization, one of the hardest things for me, and I bet my board would agree with this, one of the hardest things we can do as leaders of the organization is know what to say no to. Because there's all this stuff we'd love to say yes to. Saying yes is easy, right? It's like, oh man, yes, I would love to do that. Yes, I would love to dedicate staff to that. Yes, I would love to throw money at that. Yes, I would love to, but you can't. You only got this much that you can do. So you've got to be very strategic with this much. And so then it leaves this big gap of, man, I'd love to restore that schoolhouse. I would love to be out on the trails more, cleaning the trails up. I would love to be adding more trails to the network of trails here. I would love to be taking all my team and going out and checking wood duck boxes or bluebird boxes. I would love to take more kids to the observatory and show them the stars, but we can't. But then you guys come in, and all of a sudden, things are happening that we just simply can't do. Schoolhouses are getting renovated. Events are happening. Trails are getting cleaned up. Parks are getting cleaned up. Invasive species are getting removed. And all this stuff is happening, and that gap is shrinking just a little bit. And that capacity for doing things, that capacity for accomplishing things grows just a little bit. Maybe a lot bit in some instances. Sometimes it's a huge bit. A big giant Halloween thing up a big hollow, or a big giant youth jamboree thing, or summer camps, or whatever. Sometimes they're great big things. Sometimes it's just little things. Sometimes it's a husband and wife getting together and picking trash up when they're out on the trails. And it seems like a little thing, but it isn't, because when you step back, and I get the luxury of doing this because I get to see the department and the community as a whole. I've written about this in the paper, and when you look at just one little tiny thing, it seems like just a little thing. Oh, we're putting a new roof on a schoolhouse, or we're cleaning up some trails, or we're cutting invasive species, whatever. It seems like a little thing. But on the whole, it is a huge thing, because what's happening is when those trails are cleaned, or that school is renovated, or that event happens, there's a whole bunch of people that get to benefit from that. It isn't just this department. This department is just a mechanism through which to connect people to the outside world, right? And so every single person that walks out on that trail, and they don't even consciously notice that there isn't trash out there. But that's the point. Because if there is trash, they damn sure notice that, don't they? And then that makes an impression of, there's a certain standard that this place holds this facility to. There's a certain standard that we can expect from this department. There's a certain standard that I know is there, and therefore I am absolutely comfortable taking my kids out to this park. I'm absolutely comfortable going for a hike in the afternoon, right at dusk, right as the sun is setting, at the perfect time to go out and see the outdoors. I am comfortable going and doing that because I know that trail, that park, that event is going to be clean, and it's up to my standards, and I am safe, and I'm comfortable doing that, and therefore I will. And that, more than anything, is what you all allow us to accomplish, more so than we could ever do on our own. And I cannot thank you enough for that. And I see this every day. I get to see this on the whole of all the little things that happen, the stuff that happens here at the Nature Center and up at Big Hollow and at Zion Schoolhouse and the places that a lot of us don't even go to. But some people do. And that impacts them. And that is a huge thing. On the whole, that is a huge thing for the outdoor community, for this community, for future generations like those sitting over there. If anybody wants to take them home with you, you're welcome to, by the way. So you can introduce the new generation to the outdoors. Feel free. Feel free to just leave them there too. That's fine. But so that's what we're here for. We want to honor you because you are the mechanism by which that gap shrinks just a little bit. And it shrinks a little bit this year, and then a little bit more this year, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And in the course of, say, 33 years that Pat Rogie has been here, the gap shrinks a lot. And all of a sudden, that dream that seemed so far away, all of a sudden is a thing. Big Hollow wasn't what Big Hollow is when he first got here. This place wasn't what this place is when he first got here. There are parks in this county that didn't even exist when he first got here. And there's a whole lot of programs that hadn't even been dreamed up in 1990 when Pat Rogie first walked into this department. And now here we are 33 years later, sitting in this room with these people. And tomorrow, we're going to bid goodbye to that guy. And everything that has accomplished, everything that's been done, and everything that this place is, that this community is due to the collective efforts of not the people of this department, not the board members, not the supervisors that wrote the checks or allowed the budgets to happen, not the staff that has come and gone or is still here. It's everyone. It's collective. It's all one big collective effort. And that is what moves the world forward. And so I cannot thank you enough for everything you do for helping us shrink up that gap. So we have some awards we want to give out. That's kind of one of the fun things about this event that we really love doing. As far as I'm concerned, everybody in this room and all of those that couldn't make it tonight, you're all deserving of big awards, and I would love to stand on the mountaintop and shout to the world everything that you guys do. But being that we only have a real little tiny budget and we can only buy 5 plaques this year, that's what we got. So there's several people we want to recognize tonight just because they went above and beyond and helped us shrink that gap just a little bit and really kind of took things to the next level. So for the first couple, I'm going to hand it over to Marcus. He's our environmental education coordinator. He's the guy that is in charge of running this place, and he's going to lead off with the first couple awards tonight. So thank you.
Okay, so hi everybody. I've met most of you. My name is Marcus. I'm the environmental education manager out here at Starr's Cave. And when Chris asked about volunteer awards, he said, you know, we can be good, but who makes us great? Because there's a major difference between good and great. Good is doing what you can, and great is doing what you wish you can at times. So oftentimes, Jacqueline and I are here at Starr's Cave running the show, and that's 2 of us for almost 200 acres here at Starr's Cave, which is quite a bit. Last year, we served about 13,000 people, whether it's our school programs or visitors coming through our doors or people parking in our parking lot. And 13,000 people, that's a lot more than 2. So with 13,000 people, you can imagine, you know, all of the things that are brought into the park, joy, fun, but also trash at times. Sometimes people will take their cans or their bottles when they're done using them, and they'll toss them aside. And there are 2 of us to pick up after 13,000 people. So when I was thinking of a volunteer or volunteers that really help us move the pin to greatness, I thought about how clean our park has been over this last year, and how it's been so clean, in fact, that when groups have asked if they can come and help the effort of cleaning Starr's Cave or Irish Ridge Road, they've come to clean and they said, hey, do you have another park? Because there's nothing to clean up here. That's happened multiple occasions, not just once, not just twice, but many, many times. So I think of that, and I think about who helps make that possible. And the same people that help make that possible also join us at different parks, also help our efforts to tag monarchs in September before they start to migrate to Mexico. So turning this good to great is all made possible by these people. They've touched the earth, they've touched the people, they've touched the community. And so I have an award here for George and Terri Van Hagen for the Volunteers of the Year.
Oh my God.
So come on up, guys. Come on up, guys. So this is for you guys, but I'm not done yet. Okay. So not only do they help us clean up our trails, they use our trails for their recreation as well. They have cyclists coming through, they have runners, they have all sorts of people coming through, and it really brings so many people to our park, and we're so grateful for that. Our parks are so clean. So clean, in fact, that you're getting another award. This is the first time this award has been given to anybody, so if you all have goals for next year, you might want to look at this one, okay? So, here is... Whoa! This is the golden garbage picker. All right, here you go, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So for this next award, unfortunately, this person was unable to make it here. Actually, he was going out on the river with his family tonight, so he said that, hey, sorry, I said that I would make it. I'll make it, for your event on Saturday, but I'm going out on the river with the family. The whole family's going to recreate, so how can I be mad at that, right? So this award is going to a volunteer, actually a high school volunteer, that we had this year, who tried to pick up as many volunteers hours as he could. And he ended up picking up like 100 hours through us. He helped out with our youth jamboree, any sort of weekend events that we had, he was here helping with summer camps. And through that, he learned a lot of things, especially about environmental education and what exactly it is that we do out here at Starr's Cave. And he did a phenomenal job. So he worked with really young kids, he worked with older kids, phenomenal human. Even after the jamboree, we had some, leftover food that we were like, oh, where are we going to take this? It happens to be that his other job is that he volunteers at a food bank. So he filled up his car with things for the food bank to help the community in that way as well. So he's not here today, but if you all are here tomorrow, you have to congratulate him. Trevor Skalinski is the recipient of our Environmental Educator of the Year. And so when we see him tomorrow, we'll give him the award. But really, if you run into Trevor, he is a phenomenal human, and he's only a high schooler making such a big difference in our community. So this award goes to Trevor.
So at my own presentation, I talked about the standards that we hold our parks to. And if there's an event, so let's say you go to a park and they're having an event or whatever, we all know that first impressions make a huge difference. So whatever your encounter is when you first pull into that park, especially when it's some great big giant event, that's going to set the tone in your mind for what the rest of this event is going to be like. Now, I talked about what we're able to do and what we'd like to do. Now, we would like to have, say, Pat Rogie standing at the entrance to the park for every event. There's a guy you want to encounter in first into the park, it's him. Well, oftentimes we need him for other stuff. In fact, oftentimes we need our entire staff and a bunch of volunteers for other things. Things like our big Halloween event of Big Hollow, or the Youth Jamboree event, where these events are bringing in 500, 600, 700, 1,000 people into this park. And if you've been in that park, you know that there's not really any one place to put 1,000 people worth of vehicles. And so the parking is a huge issue. So what we've done these last couple of years is we've reached out to others within the community and said, hey, we need some help. And there's a group around here that stepped up and said, we've got this. And it's one thing just to have some people come up and help with some parking. It's a whole other thing to have people come up, help with the parking in such a way that when people leave, they say, oh my gosh, that event was so well run. They had the logistics down Pat, I can't believe how well they put this thing together. And a huge part of that is that first impression that got made when they first pulled in that park. And somebody stand there and say, hey, go over here. That person's going to show you right where to park. And they're pulling them and they're lining them up just right. And they're fitting 1,000 vehicles into this place. And that is largely due to the Community Emergency Response Team, CERT team here in Des Moines County. They have sent people up to every one of our big events for the last few years running. And so this year's Volunteer Group of the Year is the Des Moines County Community Emergency Response Team.
Thank you very much. We have fun doing it. Like any group, we have trouble getting enough volunteers. So if anybody has more time to volunteer, Community Emergency Response Team, we meet once a month and train for all kinds of disasters. And so we can search and rescue, we can do some medical, we can do cribbing, whatever. So we train all the time for stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. This is one of those where you're like, all right, just, a little award isn't enough. This person has been a fixture of this organization for, I don't know, as long as I've been around, which is going on 15 years now. And it's one of those deals that his signature is written on parks all over this community. In fact, we're standing in a building that is, the look and feel of this place is largely due to this person. And as I said earlier, it's tough oftentimes to say no. And one of the things we said no to a while back when we realized we had this much capability and this much we'd like to do, one of them was Zion School. And we said, we can't do anything with that place. And it was falling into disrepair. And he said, I'm not standing for that. And he was one of the founding members of the Friends of Des Moines County Conservation group. And they come together and they raised a bunch of money and they said, we are going to save this building. We're going to protect this. And it took a while. They raised a bunch of money, but just this summer, they finished the roof, a brand new bright red metal roof on this historic building. It is absolutely beautiful. It's something that's been done for decades now. And it's put a lid on this building that was falling into decay. And I know there's much more to come, but we could not just let this year go by without recognizing Kevin Moore with an outstanding service award.
It wasn't all me.
I know it wasn't all you, but you were the driving force behind it.
No, thank you very, very much.
You betcha.
I appreciate it.
You bet.
There's people in this room here, along with the staff, that had a lot to do with that school. And Cathy, I am not a very good person to say we're going to go for grants, and she is very instrumental in getting that money for what we got taken care of. So when there's a will, there's a way. That's all I can say. So
That's right.
I take this not for just me, but with the group and that. So thank you all very much.
You bet. Thank you. Some people are great at organizing and doing work. Kevin is getting the materials and everything, all the logistics needed done to get the roof. And then there are people that are really great at behind the scenes stuff and applying for grants and things like that. And our entire board serves in a volunteer capacity. So we have a 5-member board and they're unpaid, and putting up with me once a month, they deserve a lot more pay than what they get. Some of those meetings, man, they just drag on and just, sometimes they're just things we got to deal with, and they work hard. And we've got a board member that has gone above and beyond the call of duty. So outside of her work on the Des Moines County Conservation Board, she worked with the Friends of Des Moines County Conservation and wrote this grant and got $5,000 for the Zion School and helped make that happen. But then one of the other things that we would love to do that we don't have the capacity to do is research. We recognize the value of research, and we would love to be able to do research. In fact, all of our staff here would love to be able to do wildlife research. The fact is we're not a wildlife research organization. And as much as we would love to do that, and as much as research has been done, via our department. It's not something that we have the staff capacity to do. For years and years and years, there's been bat research going on up at Big Hollow and around the county. And we actually have documented Indiana and northern long-eared bats, both of which are endangered species. And keeping tabs on what's happening with those populations, trying to understand what's going on here is something that's important that we didn't have the capacity to do. And this board member stepped up and said, I'm going to carry this forward. And so every summer she's out there putting out this acoustic monitoring device, tromping through the woods and the ticks to get these things put out, bringing the data in and running the data through the software, even has written grants in order to get this work funded and get the devices and the hardware that we need to make this happen. And so I wanted to recognize Cathy Ziglar with an Outstanding Service Award this year.
Well, as a board member, I appreciate all of you. So this is really special. I didn't know this was coming. I don't think about board members getting it. So it's been fun.
It is, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
So that concludes our award program tonight. Again, thank you all for everything you do. Like I said, we wouldn't be able to do nearly what we do as an organization without the work of everybody in this room, the work of the board members, the volunteers, all of you, those that aren't with us here tonight that help us do things. We would not be reaching the 13,000 people that come through this program, and the thousands that come through Big Hollow and the events that we have up there, and the number of campers that we have, and just the way we connect people to the outdoors, to the natural world. That is possible because of this collective effort that not just the staff, not just the board, not just the policymakers, but everybody, this community, you guys as volunteers, the community at large that donates to things, and just everything. It's just, it's amazing, and it's humbling to be part of what this is here in Des Moines County. And I love this place. I love what we're able to do, and I cannot thank you enough. So thank you all for coming. Feel free to stick around and socialize and hang out and shake hands and congratulate the winners of this year's awards. And we'll see you out in the parks. Thank you.